Good morning, everyone. This is MightyStream. I'm excited to be with you this morning. Today is August the 21st, and I am brought to you by Hope Through Navigation. And this is our H.O.O.D Recovery Services. H.O.O.D is an acronym, H-O-O-D, that stands for Hope Offered on Demand. And I am excited to create content for you daily. Pretty soon, we'll have a whole year's worth of meditations ready for you. Okay. Now, if you need to reach me, do so at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to tell you, I am so excited about today. I have no idea why. I just think that I'm in a great mood and I love being in a great mood. Okay, awesome. August 21st, friendships. Oh, this should be interesting. Our friendships become deep, and we experience the warmth and caring which results from addicts sharing recovery and a new life. IP number 19, self-acceptance. Most of us come to Narcotics Anonymous with few genuine friends. And most of us arrive without the slightest understanding of what it takes to build lasting relationships. Over time, though, we learn that friendships require work. At one time or another, all friendships are challenging. Like any relationship, friendship is a learning process. Our friends love us enough to tell us the truth about ourselves. The old saying, the truth will set you free, but first it will make you furious, seems especially true in friendship. This can make friendships awkward. We may find ourselves avoiding certain meetings rather than facing our friends. We have found, though, that friends speak out of concern for us. They want the best for us. Our friends accept us despite our shortcomings. They understand that we are still a work in progress. Friends are there for us when we're not there for ourselves. Friends help us gain valuable perspective on the events in our lives and our recovery. It is important that we actively cultivate friendships, for we have learned that we cannot recover alone. Just for today, I will be grateful for the friends I have. I will take an active part in my friendships. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the we version of the serenity prayer. Moment of silence now. Thank you, God. Grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. This is a powerful topic, talking about friendships. Friendships are a lot like sponsorship. They are a two-way street. However, there are things about a friendship that if you cultivate them, that are a little bit different than sponsorship. A sponsor is looking at the relationship from the point of view of the 12 steps and the 12 traditions, right? And the 12 concepts. Okay, those are basically the guiding principles that we use for service work, the concepts, right? Not everyone uses them or even acknowledges them or even know that they're there. But we have, that is what happens when we're talking about sponsorship. The sponsor is looking at it from the perspective, how do I make these 12 steps and the principles therein come alive for this sponsee, this person that I'm mentoring in the 12-step fellowship. All right, 12-step program. Because the fellowship is just a part, right? So let me be very specific about that. And a lot of times the sponsee gets it confused and the sponsor will do it too, and think that this is now a friendship. And for many of us, it is the first establishment of a relationship of vulnerability and relating, right? A relationship that is something that goes, it's like a relay, right? It's something that goes back and forth, right? That's what a relay actually is, right? So it transmits something to the next person, and then that person transmits something. Okay, so it's back and forth. For some of us, that's the first opportunity that we really get to a sneak peek preview of what friendship should look like. But sponsorship only embraces a portion of what friendship should be. It is a concept that is based on what friendship should be. It does not convey all of it, even though it's beautiful. Friendship is, to me, much deeper. Friendship is much deeper. And a lot of us don't know how to have friendship, right? We don't know how to have friends. We don't know how to develop friendship. We don't know how to cultivate it. Depends on who we are and where we come from. Friendship was probably something that you enjoyed after school. You wrote letters back and forth to your friends. At some point in time, the phones became, what did we call them, wireless? They became wireless, so you didn't have to stand or sit somewhere close to a phone outlet that had a long, wiggly cord, curly cord, right? And now people were manning their phones just by putting them on chargers at night. They were able to walk through the yard, through their house, and sometimes the wireless phone only had so many feet you could be away from the base. Okay. And then we started to get this thing that looked like walkie-talkies, right? We started to see some of our first mobile phones, and some of you will remember Skyping, right? We developed our first mobile phones, and now these were the things that we saw on military shows where they carried this thing around with them, but this was something you could charge at home and carry with you. Some cars started having phones in them. So some of our friendships started to follow the way of technology. And instead of being the face-to-face type of connection, playing with your friends after school or visiting with them, now it becomes a telephone conversation. A telephone conversation. And so that's what we equate our friendship with. I call you, but you need to call me. I'm not going to be the only one calling you all the time. You have you ever said that? We're friends, but I'm the only one that ever does any other work. Have you noticed that? Take notice of how you do friendships. Some people will only be friends with certain types of people. There's some people that will only be friends with the people that they have more than. They want to come across as being better than, and they choose friends that need their help. They're codependent in a sense, right? They have these friendships where they are the person with all the answers. But don't dare let one of those quote unquote lesser people give them some advice about what they need to do. You can see it in their face. You can see it in their eyes. How dare you? After all I've done for you, you got the nerve to speak to me like that? And it doesn't even have to be disrespectful. It could just be a suggestion that you do something different. And the contempt. So that's how you know this is not an equal type of giving relationship. It can be, right? Some people, I had one friend, she was just such a supermodel, just such a supermodel. And all of her friends, every last one of them were at least 300 pounds heavy, obese women, and she was the only Barbie doll in the bunch. Nobody knew. Nobody knew that she was bulimic. Nobody knew that she was eating and vomiting her food. But her friends that she chose actually looked like what she wanted to make sure she never became obese. Right? None of them peaked game until many years. One of them was talking to me and they said, "Did you ever notice that all of us," at that time I was over 300 pounds too, "all of us are so much larger than so and so?" Like, yeah, as a matter of fact, I have. As a matter of fact, I have. What you think that's about? It wasn't until I told that particular person, if it bothers you that much, maybe you should talk to her. It doesn't bother me. Maybe you should talk to her about it. And when she verified that she had had the conversation, do you know what happened? The Barbie doll began to put on weight. Mhm. The Barbie doll friend began to see that the people that she was befriending or saying were her friends were really the very thing that she disliked. And when it was exposed and she became aware of it, that level of exposure created a dissonance in her ability to maintain that mass anymore. And she began to put on weight. To this day, she struggles. Okay? So let's be mindful of the type of friends that we say we have. But more importantly, let's be mindful of the type of friends we are. Because a friend, just like these two ladies, I will call them both friends, these two ladies, the ability to approach and discuss hard topics is important. And you can generally, people get their feelings hurt all the time, right? So let's be 100 about that. People get their feelings hurt all of the time. You can be friends and someone say something, you feel slighted, but typically in the friendship, there's enough space within that relationship to be able to say, you know what, I know what you're saying is the truth, but the way that you said it was inappropriate. Don't talk to me like that. I don't talk to you like that. Now let's get to the topic of what you said. You think I'm two-faced? Right? This is the type of knockout, drag out discussion friendships or friends should be able to have. You think, girl, you think I'm two-faced? Why, what would make you fit your mouth to say that? Have I been two-faced with you? Well, there was this one time, really, right? And so they sit down and they talk about it. And do you know that that girl was coming to me trying to tell me some stuff about you? And I'll call myself checking her, but yeah, there were a couple points that she was right on, and I conceded to those, and then she switched that to make it sound like I was talking about you. Child, please. You my ride or die. I wouldn't talk about you like that. But thank you for bringing it up. I'll be more mindful the next time somebody try to backstab you. I won't protect you. Right. So I'm laughing, I'm having a good time this morning, but I just really want you to be thinking about how you do friendships. They should be deep, they should be warm, and they should be caring. They should have space for each of you to tell one another the truth without your feelings being on your sleeves. Your feelings should not be so easily hurt when it comes to your friends. What type of friend are you? Do you claim to have friendships with people, but can't nobody tell you nothing. None of those friends can say anything to you that's seriously or introspective. None of them. Right? Then your definition of what friendship is may be skewed, right? It may somehow be lopsided, and you are the one that notices it, and you are the one that needs to fix that, and you are the one that need to look at these 12 steps and these spiritual principles and figure out why you're so disconnected from people and you have no friends, or you have friends that think you are their friend. But if someone asks you, is that your friend, girl? Please. I ain't cool with her like that. Well, I see y'all always together. Yeah, because she comes and seeks me. And I just don't know how to tell her to go home sometimes. No, we're not cool like that. Oh, so she thinks you're her best friend, but you have no inclination towards her as being your best friend. Is that what I'm understanding? Why is that? Why do you allow people to be in your presence that you can't stand? People pleasing. That one right there is called people pleasing. Right? I think we all have been there. Let's be authentically ourselves today, and let's be authentic friends. Let's look at the relationships we have with people and determine if these are authentic friendships. Should they be authentic friendships? Or is there just some difficult conversation that you're not able to approach, that you're worried that they of hurting their feelings, right? And vice versa. Yeah. We need to be able to look at ourselves and have some self-acceptance about who we are, and then present that going forward in our relationships. When you have authentic relationships in your life, whether they be friendships or otherwise, when they're authentic, it's just like grace. I taught you guys the other day. We were talking about grace and what grace can do for a person. Remember that? Okay. When you have authentic relationships in your life, the spirit of grace flows more fluidly, right? Because there's not all of that anxiety and angst and tension of trying to promote something that you're not, of being something that you are, of wearing a mask, word everything just perfectly, right? Your friend will tell you, girl, that was not right. Man, why did you do that girl like that? No, you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have let her think that you was interested in her for even any reason. A man will tell you, a friend, right? A man will tell his partner the truth about himself, and his partner will be like, "Yeah, man, that was that was out cold. I shouldn't have did that. I shouldn't. I'm a married man, man. I should. I got to tighten up because the light. If the drugs don't kill you, what we say, the lifestyle will. Okay, these are just examples, but I can tell you that some of them I can totally relate to, and I can say today that, hmm, okay, so you know the experience I was giving you about Barbie doll and her obese friends, right? I would have at one time said that this is a friend of mine. But when I saw a close friend, right? A real friend. But when I saw that the reality of being grouped in with a bunch of ladies that she thought looked worse than her, right? I realized that the other person, a friend, was feeling more intense about that interaction than me. She was definitely closer. They lived closer. Um, and it really, really bothered her. And they interacted several times throughout the day. My interaction was just a few times in the year where we would all get together. So I didn't have the same value on that friendship, right? Or associate would be a more appropriate term. But for this lady, right, they had a really deep interconnection with each other. And there was a group of them that interacted daily, right? That's why when I spoke and I said, maybe you should say something. I don't feel it was my place because it didn't bother me, first of all, right? Some of the friendships, when you do your analysis, are not truly friendships. Like I said, they're more of an associate. Even though you should bring integrity to that relationship, that is not necessarily a friend that you want to do life with. Figure out, this is your assignment, okay? I want you to go through on a piece of paper, my friends. I want you to list, look in your phone. Look in your phone, because I believe friends don't necessarily have to be in contact every day, but look in your phone, in your text messages, or in your recent phone calls. And for the last 30 days, so go all the way back to July 22nd and find the people that you've been texting or calling, right? Because a lot of times you'll see a friend in person and you'll be on the phone before you even get home, you're talking to them on the phone. Yeah, I just want to, you know what? And you just be having a good time, right? Look at your phone registry, right? Look at it and see who it is that you're interacting with, right? Or you might be able to from rote write a list of those individuals, write them down. When you get that whole list, however many or however few, go back over it. Who is on there that you consider a friend that you have not interacted with? There may be some people that y'all so busy, you only see each other twice a year, but every time you see each other, it's like you pick up where you left off. It's always deep, it's always intimate. Put them on the list if they're not in that last month, right? Put all of your supposed to be friends on there. And then I want you to now look at that list. And I want you to list them. 1, 2, or 3. A 1 is a person that this is a intimate, two-way, loving, caring, honest relationship. Whether I see them a lot or I see them very infrequently, whether I text them or talk to them a lot, all your number 1s, your number 1 friends. And then number 2s are the people that they could be number 1, but there's some sort of resentment. I want you to put a number 2. These are the people that they could be number 1s, but the last time y'all talked or they did something, you kind of on the line with, and you haven't really told them your truth. Put those as number 2. Also in that group are people that you need to do better with. And they might actually be some of the number 1s. There are people that you need to interact a little bit more with for the level of value that you have for that relationship. There's something that you need to be doing more, right? In one case, it's telling them more of the truth about how you feel about what happened. In another case, it could be you just need to Stop letting them send you texts and pictures and messages and not respond for 2 or 3 days. You need to be better about your side, your end of it, right? That's the number two. Your end of it needs to improve in some kind of way. These are your number twos. Number threes are people that think that you're their friend and you are not. In no way, shape, or form. You would not consider them your running buddies. You would not spend a weekend in a hotel room, kicking it up, drinking coffee and laughing and watching movies. You would not. It's a one way. You allow them to tap you, but you in no way ever intend to interact with them. They're on your list of phone calls simply because you are either texting them back and don't want to be bothered, or you're calling them back and you really hoping they don't answer. These are your number threes. Now, at the bottom of that sheet of paper, I want you to write, pray for them all. Pray for 1, 2, and 3. Pray for them all daily. And whatever you're using to get on this podcast, I want you to keep that paper where a part of your process for the next 30 days until September 22nd is going to be praying over this list of people. And I'm going to put a reminder in my phone on September 22nd to ask you guys, where are you with these friendships? Because friendships, as this notes, takes work. It is a two-way street. There are uncomfortable times in friendships. Some of those twos should be ones. Some of those threes should be twos or ones, right? But in your mind, because you're stuck in an uncomfortable place, you are just resting your laurels with that relationship where it's at. And we're going to see if we move up the marker in any kind of way by the 22nd of September. We want to see what type of person we are developing to be in regards to friendships. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I most certainly have, and I will be talking to you tomorrow.